Greetings to all, Johnson, North Wales here. This is my next build vid, the MiG-29 UB Fulcrum in Czech Air Force markings, the Italeri 1/72nd scale kit. I built this model partly for the Indian modelers Facebook group, Warsaw Pact group build. The MiG-29, NATO codename Fulcrum, is a twin-engined jet fighter aircraft designed in the Soviet Union back in the 70s and developed by the Mikoyan Design Bureau as an air superiority fighter alongside the larger Su-27. It was developed to counter the new US fighters back then, such as the F-15 Eagle and the General Dynamics F-16 fighting Falcon. The MiG-29 entered service with the Soviet Air Force back in 1982. Czechoslovakia received 18 MiG-29s and 2 MiG-29 UB aircraft. Although 6 were capable for delivering nuclear weapons, necessary equipment was removed as part of the CFE Treaty, all passed on to successor states. The MiG-29 UB two-seat training aircraft had its infrared scanner mounted only, but no radar. NATO reporting name is Fulcrum B. Export versions were downgraded similar systems to the MiG-29 9.12, and that is thank you to Wikipedia once again. So some pictures of the aircraft. Interesting point of note that if you are building this model, don't go hanging radar-seeking missiles off it, as I believe it is in that picture there. So if you are going to arm it up, it's just drop tanks and heat seekers. Another picture there, so get some idea of it. And this is the kit. I bought the kit a few years back in Liverpool when I went to visit our sadly missed fellow modeler Chris. I don't think the model shop there is either. The decal sheet is basic, though provides markings for 4 countries. The 3-digit Russian board number is for the MiG trials and development aircraft, not an operational aircraft. This drove the choice of the Czech option. I also wanted to break the bad mojo of the 3-tone camo schemes following the Yak 130 build, where I had some problems with it. The kit comes on 2 sprues of good quality grey plastic and 1 small clear sprue. The panel lines are nicely recessed. There is a reasonable amount of detail without being too basic. Nice clear canopy as well. Nothing really to make me worry about this kit. The construction began with a cockpit that builds and paints up very nicely. Instrument panels came out well with dry brushing. I think I also added seat belts made from tape. So really there no major issues. My main fit concerns were with the intake trunks, and it wasn't as bad as I expected, and it responded well to basic filling and sanding. I used Deluxe Products Perfect Putty as a main filler, but it didn't need that much, as you can see. They're certainly not a filler queen like so many of my builds. The main fit problem was the vertical stabilizers, which weren't good, and they didn't conform to the shape of the fuselage. They needed trimming and filling. There is ready for painting. That went along actually quite surprisingly well, with no real major issues. I undercoated the MiG with Tamiya XF2 white, followed by grey on the canopy. The rest of the painting was with Vallejo Model Air. The lower surfaces were sprayed in pale blue-grey 71.046. On the top surface I started with Vallejo 71.095 pale green in a loose pattern. The other colours were 71.112 US sand, darkened down a bit, and the third colour was a mixture of mud brown 71.037 and a hull red 71.039. Masking was with blue tack. The anti-glare panel was masked with tape and was hand-painted flat back after the main painting. Once painted, I applied a coat of Johnson's Clear. This provided a gloss base for the Flory Pro Modeler panel line wash and for the decals. Now, I know people say you shouldn't be using the Johnson's Clear, but I carry on using it. I find it's effective. It may be a bit thin, but it does the job well. The decals went on with no problems. They settled with Microset, and Microsol. I then applied Tamiya weathering powders to adjust the tones and darken or weather up the underside in particular. The final coat before I added the drop tanks and bay doors was Tamiya XF86 matte varnish, and I kept low to drop tanks as this would have been the most common configuration for a MiG-29 UB. We didn't have to arm all our aircraft for bear. And there it is, finished. A nice, straightforward build. I find that I didn't have any issues with the combination of Vallejo and Tamiya paints. And the final matte coat just adjusted the tone quite nicely. So a few more views there of the finished aircraft. It now sits alongside a Polish MiG-29. I have the Vallejo MiG-29 SMT in my collection, and I will be looking forward to building that one. And this time having a MiG-29 that is fully armed with a pilot figure sat in the cockpit. So if you do see this kit, guys, I think it's well worth looking out for. And you can see there just the not too heavy weathering, but just some weathering on the underside with those Tamiya weathering powders. So there we have it, guys. So in summary, this was a quick, straightforward and enjoyable build of a kit with few vices or significant challenges. It was also fun to do a project for the Indian Modeler Facebook group, Warsaw Pact group build. Many thanks to Sherbir Singh for organising that, and there's a link to his channel in the description section below. One of my aims is to build a single-seater and two-seater version of each operational Russian fighter type since 1946, so the MiG-29 fills a gap in the collection. In the future, I'll be looking out for the two-seater versions of the MiG-19, 23 and 27. So guys, thank you for watching. Happy modelling. God bless. This is Chancellor North Wales, signing out.